Welcome to the Country Music Rocks podcast. I'm Danny Dwyer.
And I'm Julia Courier.
And we are talking about what goes around comes around, the genre of country music.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of all country music.
Me too.
Today, new music I love, but I also like reverting back to the early country with my mom and dad.
Yep.
I like a little Merle. I like a little Johnny Cash, some Dolly Parton.
The nostalgia of it.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
But I also love the 90s.
Yes.
And it seems like lately we've been seeing a lot more of that era of country music coming back to the format.
We sure have, yeah.
It's interesting. I feel like country music ebbs and flows, right? We go through these different, it was interesting. Years ago, I've noticed the big change when it comes to the award shows. For a long time, it was the Judds.
Yep.
Then it went to Brooks and Dunn. Then it went to, Brothers Osborne,
Yes.
Dan and Shay.
Yeah.
It feels like that, right?
Yeah.
We've gone through all these different genres of country music, bro country, Florida Georgia Line.
Okay, so speaking of that, I have to ask, only because I was thinking about this coming into this episode with the term bro country.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, I almost don't like that term. Only because I feel like it has such a negative meaning to it, because people are like, oh, bro country, but we got a lot of good songs out of that.
We did.
I feel like so many people had fun. Like, you're mentioning FGL. I mean, Cruise. Who didn't like Cruise?
Yeah.
I mean, did it get overplayed? Sure. But I mean, like, a lot of those hits do,
Right. But
So
looking back now, that's how we were introduced to FGL. And that's why it made a turn in that direction of country music, which is now present today.
Right.
Right. The claps that we hear in those.
Yeah.
It all came from a lot of those guys. It doesn't really offend me.
No, same here.
Not at all.
Same here.
I liked it, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Same.
think some of the artists didn't want to associate with it.
And I think it's the term. I think people didn't like the term bro country.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
I mean, again, it comes and goes.
It does,
You
it
know,
does,
whatever. It might come back in 10 years. It's funny. We were just in Nashville last weekend with some winners, and my wife and I went shopping.
Yeah.
And they had all these belts on display. And she pointed out to this belt to me, and she's like, look, I have that same belt. I'm like, yeah, it's been in the closet for like 9 years, and now it's back.
It's back.
It was huge. So it comes around and goes
Everything
around,
comes
right?
back. It does.
So let's talk a little bit about the genre of country music, but let's go with like what we seem to see today is a lot more 90s country.
It is. Yep. And that traditional vibe.
Yeah.
And
Of course, the number one guy that everyone can't stop talking about, obviously, is Zach Top.
Yes.
We know.
Yep.
I mean, we saw him with Lainey Wilson, which opened our eyes. We already kind of knew who he was.
We did. But seeing him on stage,
Different story.
Like, you hear like the singles that they put out.
Yeah.
But then seeing him on stage and really living that 90s vibe.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I will tell you a funny story. So last year at Country Radio Seminar, I remember when he got signed to Leo 33, his new record label.
Yep.
A friend of mine runs that label,
She's
and she's great. I love her. Hi, Katie Dean, by the way, if you're listening.
Yeah.
She invited us to Assembly Hall in Nashville, and she's like, I really want you guys to come see Zach. You're going to love his music. You're going to love his style. We were like, okay, we'll try and make it over there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm so glad that I made it over there to see him.
Right.
Because now at this point, we realize how big of a star he is. I would have loved to have seen him when he was at the home state here in Washington, Eastern Washington, performing at a lot of the local clubs that were coming around. I know he never really got here to like Jubit's Ponderosa Lounge or Bushwhackers or Duke's, anything like that.
He wasn't
here.
really in the Portland metro area.
No, not so much. But now, looking back, he was part of Hot Country Nights with my station, and now you can't even hardly get close to the guy.
Oh, exactly.
It's insane.
He's grown so big and so fast.
Yeah. So he's going to be at the Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene, November 13th. If you can get your hands on some tickets, I highly suggest you do.
But I hope you do. Yeah.
But I look at him now as an influencer, and every time I listen to him or I see him, it just takes me straight to an era of country music that I love, which is like Alan Jackson and Alabama, and that type of music, along with Clint Black and Garth Brooks, is so good to hear.
Right.
But now there's a lot more artists that are starting to emerge that are coming back,
and they're coming out in this style.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really interesting, because it's almost like, to me, it's interesting that they're coming out with this, I guess we could say vibe, this traditional sound, which is not today's sound. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like they're going back in time to a time that they weren't necessarily even around for.
Sure.
But they're gravitating towards it.
Right. Zach was probably a baby.
Exactly.
When
or
he was
he even born? I don't know. Like he's a youngin.
He's a youngin.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's just really interesting to me that they love it so much and they're gravitating towards it and they like that sound. I think it's really cool.
Well, and I just wonder if there's something in Nashville that the co-writers, the writers, the producers, the engineers are like, hey guys, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small community when it comes to that. And they all seem to have a finger on the pulse of something that's new that we're not even aware of yet.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so that probably is like, we're seeing this change. We've seen this before. Let's go ahead and move forward with this and see what happens.
Yeah.
So like when I looked at Zach and listened to his music, it was interesting to look around the entire amphitheater at that point in time because everybody was so into his music. And at that time, he only had the 2 songs that we really knew of.
Right.
And it wasn't even part of more of like cold beer and country music and a couple of others.
Yeah.
So seeing him in person now is a much, much better opportunity. So if you get that chance to see him, make sure you go see him down in Eugene. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely.
A couple of other artists that are coming up. You already mentioned one that I think we're on the same page for, Jake Worthington.
Yes. Yeah. I just literally started listening to him and I was really surprised. That's not what I was expecting.
Right.
But again, that traditional country sound, that steel guitar. I feel like the steel guitar is making a comeback.
I do too. I don't like to always compare a new artist to an old artist.
I know.
But in some realm, I feel like it's a compliment.
I was just going to say that. It is a compliment.
It's not. I'm not tearing you down. Like, oh, you can't do anything original. That's not the case.
No.
I love that in an artist. And when I listen to Jake Worthington, I'm thinking to myself, okay, who does he sound like? To me, it's a mixture of John Anderson and a little of Tracy Lawrence.
Okay.
Like the 2 together.
Okay.
He's got a song called "It Ain't the Whiskey." I was like, oh, it's so good.
So I was listening to one of his songs last night and Tracy Lawrence, and I almost got kind of a Mark Chestnut vibe.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, okay. Now
I was kind of like, oh, okay.
I got to go hit up the Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Because he does have a lot of great music.
He does.
And that sound, again, very traditional, which seems to be hitting a home run right now.
It is.
Another, like Ella Langley. There's nothing this girl can't seem to do right now.
I know.
She can sing the phone book. She's going to get a number 1 hit.
Yep.
Her new one that she just dropped, Taking It Back to Texas.
Yep.
Man, as soon as I heard that, I was like, wow.
Yep. It's so good.
Yeah, she's on fire right now.
She is. I feel like she's our, and this is not to say, I feel like she's our new Miranda Lambert. Because remember when Miranda was just, there was no stopping her.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ella is on that track.
Yeah, 100%.
Not to say that Miranda's not still there, but you know what I mean? I feel like, you know how artists are, they're in the spotlight and then it dwindles down just a little bit because, it's always coming through.
Yeah.
And there's new artists keep coming.
Right. And going back to like the ladies of country music, in the early 80s, 70s and 80s, it seemed to be Tammy Wynette. It was Dolly Parton.
Of course,
Connie Smith and a lot of those other artists. And then you come into the 80s and 90s, it's the Judds. It was Sarah Evans didn't really come until like the late 90s, I feel.
Yeah.
But it was like Martina McBride, Trisha Yearwood, and then Sarah Evans. So there was always that battle of the ladies, and then Carrie and Miranda, and now Ella's taking the torch along with Lainey.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I can't forget Lainey.
And I feel like she's another one of those artists to me is just a superstar. As we know, she's hosting the CMAs coming up in a couple weeks. She's another one. Everything she touches turns to gold right now. And they both have that sound that's going to be awesome. And I'm saying this in 26, we'll probably have a duet between the 2 of them.
Oh,
I would imagine at some point, or at least from Ella and Miranda. We've already seen it at the ACMs, but I just have a funny feeling that we'll see something those 2 come together in 2020 because it seems like Lainey Wilson's like Jelly Roll. Everybody wants to work with the both of them, right? So we saw it with Jackson Dean. We've seen it with Zach Top when she was here. They did that performance together. I don't remember the song. I wish I could go back now and remember what it was, but they were so cute together.
Yeah,
they were so good.
I know. I don't remember which one it was either. But yeah, it was good.
I just remember really how much fun we were having because it was one of those summer concerts where this could last another 7 hours.
It fit together good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, give me another one of your favorite artists.
Riley Green, kind of, back to the Ella Langley, but Riley Green. I feel like even when he did come out, he came out with that sound. Sure. He came out with that vibe. He came out with wanting to bring 90s and traditional to the forefront versus where it was kind of at that moment.
Right. And I feel like him and Ella doing the song together, was great, and it was the song of the year, like the song of the summer. Everybody was on it, but now they have this new duet together, and I just saw a meme yesterday that she couldn't make it to a show, so Dasha sat in and she was singing it with him, and Dasha did a fantastic job on it. She did a really good job.
I bet she did.
But when I see those two together, it takes me back to early country music.
I was going to say even further.
Like I think of George and Tammy, or I'll think of Johnny and June.
Yeah, because it's that almost talking. They're telling a story. That is like I feel like the real storytelling in music, like back then, because I felt like they were literally sitting down in front of you, telling you a story.
Right, writing it out word for word, and painting the picture
and
for you,
enunciating it, and versus just singing it.
Yeah. Like Dolly and Porter Wagner.
Yeah.
Right? They had those special moments on those duets. And I think that's what made it so special with those two together in that song. For the life of me, I cannot remember off the top of my head that fast because music comes to us daily.
I know.
So it's hard to keep up with all of them.
It is.
But yeah, I just think you're right. With Riley, he's got a great sound.
He does.
He can take it back very traditional.
He can.
And then another group that I love that sounds very 90s, and we thought this at first, we're like, they might be too traditional at this point in time, but now they're fitting in perfectly, is Midland.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When they came out with their song,
you're right.
I was like, man, these guys just sound so off right now.
Yeah.
Because of the time that we were listening to. Right.
It's timing. And
now,
that's such a great point. Where are they now?
Right. Well, now they have the new duet with Mackenzie Carpenter, or Mackenzie Porter, I think it is. It's Mackenzie Porter. Okay. But it sounds so good.
I bet it does.
And now, like I said, it fits. At the time when they first came out, I think it was like 7 years ago, so everybody was into that different sound.
Exactly. And
coming
I don't think
out of the bro country.
And I don't think people knew what to think. And it was almost like, or maybe we were still in that bro country.
Yeah, maybe.
My favorite term now. Because I feel like if they were even just like a year or two later, like when Yellowstone started coming, I feel like music started to switch a little bit. Country music started to switch a little bit when Yellowstone started peaking and reaching its popularity.
Yep.
I feel like everybody wanted hear that Western theme.
Yeah.
And Yellowstone's very much that. So I don't know. I kind of feel like if they had started then,
right,
it would have just catapulted from there.
Oh, for sure. Do you watch TV shows and in the back of your head think to yourself, oh, this would be a great soundtrack for this show or that show?
Yeah. Or when I hear a song, I'll be like, wow, this belongs in that show, or this belongs, like, this could be in a movie.
Right.
Because it just has that sound and just that, the lyrics or something just fits. But yeah, I totally do.
There was a song not long ago that I kept referring to as like, this would be the perfect soundtrack for Landman. I could just see it playing in the background while Billy Bob Thornton is driving down a dusty road in Texas. It just hit, and I was like, Taylor Sheridan, you got to pick this song. And of course, he probably did later down the road, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But so I look at music that way too, because I listen to music differently.
Yeah.
I know you are more or less, when you get an album, you'll sit down and listen to the entire album.
I do. I like to hear, because I feel like it's a story.
Right.
Or there's a reason why this artist picked these 12 songs. So what are they trying to say, or what do they want us as a listener to get out of it?
Right. And I think people listen to music differently.
They 100% do.
Women listen to music differently than men. Yep. My wife Kimmy listens to like the lyrics, the tempos of everything. Where I unfortunately don't get to sit down and listen to an album. I can't remember the last time I sat down and listened to an entire album.
Yeah.
I feel like I just don't have the time because
It's
I'm
the
always
time.
going,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And the way we get served music in the radio industry is a lot different. There's a new song going for ads every Monday.
All the time.
So they're really pushing hard on like, you got to listen to this. You got to
Right.
listen to this. Like we just were in Nashville and I got a chance to see Shane Prophet. And then I went and looked him up. I've heard his music.
Sure.
Obviously,
Yeah.
his single is what I was served and that's what I listened to.
Right.
But when I pulled him up on Spotify, I was like, holy cow.
There's a lot of other great songs here.
He's got some great music.
Absolutely.
And,
Yep.
and same thing for Jake Worthington, Midland. Like we forgot about those songs.
Yep.
Another guy that sounds fantastic. And we saw him last week and he's been on my mind since then, Drake Milligan. Who also was on American Idol.
American Idol, yep.
He was also on America's Got Talent, which he went on to win, I believe.
Okay.
And then he did a performance at the Opry last week that we were a part of, and it was so good.
Okay.
It was a tribute to one of the artists, not Johnny Rodriguez, but it was amazing, and it was so good. It was Marty Robbins, is who it was.
Oh, okay.
It was a very El Paso sounding.
I was gonna say he's very like very Texan or very like
Yeah, he's from Texas.
Yeah.
He also starred in the TV show called Sun Records. He played Elvis Presley.
Okay.
I think we talked about this maybe a little bit before, but it was a great show. Watched it. Then I learned a little bit more about him as a singer and a songwriter, and I've had lunch with him a few times through a friend of ours. Super great guy.
Yeah.
And now I went and looked up his music after last week, and I'm like, I'm really starting to like his music.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Not that it would be in something like Yellowstone or
Right.
Landman.
No.
Ian Munsick is that type of an artist.
Yes. Yep.
Whiskey Myers,
Yes.
Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah.
Taylor's got that sound that he likes.
And exactly, and it's a specific sound.
Yes, it's very cowboyish.
Yes, exactly. Cowboyish, Western.
Western,
But I feel like that's kind of paved the way, or not, I guess that's probably not the right way to say it, but I feel like it's been a stepping stone of the way to what we're hearing now.
Yes.
Getting back to that, steel guitar and just like more of the traditional sounds, maybe a little less, rappy and a little less, that
the drum clap.
Exactly, yeah. Or so much like electric guitar just overpowering.
Yeah.
I think the production, maybe it's just that's what it is. It's the production of these songs it's kind of scaled back a little bit just to the roots, roots of
for
country.
sure. And you brought up the steel guitar, which I love. Another artist that I seem to be really gravitating to right now, who is got a traditional sound, is Dylan Carmichael.
Okay, yeah.
So his if you don't know, his uncle is Eddie Montgomery,
Yes.
and John Montgomery, John Michael Montgomery, I should say, to be correct.
Yeah.
But his sound is very traditional, and he's got that same vibe as Eddie, not so much as John. But when I started looking at his playlist, I'm now building my own playlist of what I like.
Yeah.
And these guys seem to have that vibe. The steel guitar is more into it because that always gets to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't love a steel guitar, something's wrong with you.
So great. Yeah. Got to have that steel guitar. You got to have that fiddle. It's just,
For sure. Give me some of your other artists you like.
May Estes.
Oh.
She is fantastic. I feel like I know we've heard about her over the course of the past few years, but I feel like we're really now starting to hear about her. I feel like she's going to be one of those dark horses that really just come storming through.
I don't know if you know this or not. She is really good friends with Zach Top.
Okay.
And she is actually the one that introduced Zach to like Music City.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I just was on this conversation piece the other day with her. And I saw it come across one of my feeds, and her and Zach had lunch one day in Nashville.
Okay.
And she's like, I've been working here forever, and this guy shows up, and all of a sudden he's got this sound that everybody wants.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of responsible for Zach.
Wow.
Which I think
That's
is fantastic.
impressive.
Yeah. And for her to give up her process, but to actually help him.
Yeah.
And now he's on a rocket ship. So he owes her big time.
Yeah, he does.
So when he goes on his first, I mean, I don't even know if she's on his tour. I don't know who's opening for him. We'll find out when he comes to town.
Yeah.
But he definitely needs to put her on.
Absolutely.
Because those two together, that would be so good.
I think that would be a great pair for sure.
For sure.
But no, she's definitely got that sound. She's just everything about her. I know she just released a new EP, and it's fantastic.
She is one of those artists that we're gonna have to keep an eye on, because she could be another Ella coming up in the reigns.
Yeah.
Another guy that's not even in this, a little bit like a Jake Worthington and more a little bit of a Dylan Carmichael for me is Preston Cooper.
Okay,
he's got that new song called "Weak."
Okay.
There's something there that makes me gravitate to him, and I think he's going to be really special at some point.
I've heard of him. I've heard the name. I'm sure I've heard some of his songs, but I got some homework now. I need to dig into him.
Yeah. I mean, when you start breaking down these playlists and the way we take in music differently from you, and I appreciate you really giving the insights to me sometimes, like, did you hear this song? Did you hear this?
Right.
Cameron Marlowe, 17 was another one.
Such a good song.
I love Cameron Marlowe, but it wasn't the song that I was served.
Right.
And then when I hear the mix of little Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, and do it,
it's like you're missing out on something great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I feel something special. So I appreciate you helping me a little bit and teaching me, like, hey, you got to take your time to listen to it now, because we do have to slow down a little bit and enjoy life.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to start forcing myself Sunday mornings to turn on the record player
and just listen to an album.
And I realized this last trip to Nashville when we were there, like Sunday morning, we were coming home and we were checking out of the hotel, and the hotel had a listening room with a record player in it.
That's really cool.
And I, we take it for granted again, but I looked into that room and they had like 40 different vinyl albums that you could put on and listen to.
Oh, that's neat.
And there was like 10 people in there at the same time listening. So I'm like, instead of getting up Sunday morning and turning on the TV and watch the news, whatever, I'm going to start putting on albums to get more involved with the music that I think that I enjoy a little bit. Because we're getting sent more vinyl albums these days,
which is really cool.
Which is very 90s.
It is very 90s.
So cool.
And there's nothing like hearing an album on vinyl.
Yeah.
It just has that feel, and that sound, and that little bit of crackle. It's great.
Yeah. It was funny. We were talking about that when we walked by. We're like, Kim and I both looked at each other and we're like, we need to do this a little bit more. Enjoy a cup of coffee, spend some time together, but enjoy the music. Maybe read the paper.
Get back to the basics.
Yeah, we don't really read the paper anymore, but we could watch and scroll through our feeds and see what's up for the day or whatever. But I want to start doing more of that to enjoy more music from an angle of listening to a whole album instead of just one song at a time.
So my problem is sometimes, especially when I find an album I really like, that's all I'll listen to for like the longest time.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting myself branch out to listen to something else.
Right.
I'm just literally listening to whether it's that album or that artist almost nonstop, because it's easy. I know all the songs.
Sure.
I love it versus... So sometimes I need to rein myself in and just start listening to, like, okay, there's other stuff out there. I need to listen to other artists. I need to listen to other songs.
Yeah.
Or even other albums.
Preston Cooper.
Yep. Okay. I know. I've got some homework.
I've got some more for you too, but we'll talk about that later.
I know. And there's going to be so many artists that we don't hit on today that does fit into this type of realm.
Yeah, and if you have an artist that you are really into right now, please let us know. Share with us. Hit us up on our webpage. You can find us and text us and email us. It's Julia at countrymusicrocks.net, Danny at countrymusicrocks.net. Please give us your feedback. There's a new group. Not that it really has to do anything with this, but they have a sound, since we're talking about the sounds of country music, called Sons of Legion.
Okay. I've not heard of them. Okay.
So good. They're coming up on my TikTok feed like every 6, swipes.
Yeah.
Really good. And they're coming to town in March, and I'm going to try and get us tickets to go see the show because I really like them. But they have that vibe as well. Just super strong, great guys. Seem very cool.
Interesting.
Like, I want to hang out with these guys and drink beer.
Okay, I want to check them out.
Or drink a old fashioned.
There we go.
As you would make.
We're old fashioned people now. Did you forget already?
No, I didn't forget. No, I forget. So yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear some of your predictions of what you think might be coming up next. Maybe it is Preston Cooper. Maybe you've heard it, you like it. Tell me some of your favorite songs.
So just because you mentioned TikTok, do you think social media has had a play in this whole bringing back that 90s sound or in that traditional sound? Do you think a lot of it's coming from social media, or do you think it's more industry? Because you kind of brought that up as well, because we don't know what's going on in those writing rooms, or maybe it's even label driven. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like in today's society, country music was different when we didn't have the phone in our hands, right? They had to go to
100%.
work. They had to go work with people in a studio. There was writing rooms. There's still writing rooms, but they were different then than they are now. I feel like people can just do stuff at home and just put something out and people like it or they don't like it. You know, I mean, there's a dance that's going on right now that's on TikTok. Yeah, it's another dance.
Another one.
And I just saw how much, and I'm like, I could do that dance. And I'm dancing in my truck while I'm driving. And then I'm thinking to myself, I looked at their feed, and one of the feeds had over 10,000 likes and like 6,000 shares. So I'm like, okay, people are interested in it. So when it comes to social media today, I feel like you have a better opportunity as an artist to expand yourself and make your music known for sure, as opposed to trying to get a meeting with a label, so hard, getting into Nashville. One of the girls on the road said this about Nashville, and I thought it was very interesting. It caught my eye. Caught my ear. She said, it's a 10-year town.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't make it in 10 years, forget it. You're done. You're not going to make it. Back in the day, that probably was the case. Now it's different with social media. I think it's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. So one other person I did kind of want to bring up that you may be surprised or you may not be surprised. Chase Rice.
Yeah.
And he was very bro country when he first came out. And I was a big fan. I really liked a lot of his music. I, have all of his albums and stuff. But I don't know if you've listened to him recently.
I haven't.
He's done a 180.
Really?
Yes. And he is definitely in that more almost Americana sound, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got that traditional Western-y vibe going on.
Okay.
And just kind of hearing him talk about his new music, he feels like he's where he's at or where he's always wanted to be.
Okay.
I almost feel like he's happier now with the music he's putting out. So again, I don't know if it is industry related, with the stuff that was going out before.
Right.
Because I know, he had a deal. He was independent for the longest time.
Like Kip.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he got a record deal for a couple of years. Put out some great stuff, but now he's back to doing his own thing. He seems very, very happy, but his music is very, very different.
Again, I think it's changed. Sometimes a label, as an artist, I remember talking to Brothers Osborne one time, and I asked them, hey, when you guys write 40 songs, do you guys turn it into your record label and say, these are the 4 songs or 10 songs or 12 songs that we're going to put on the label on this album, and then they get a choice, or do they not even care? And what they had said to me kind of blew me away. Was like, we don't care.
Wow.
It's like an artist situation. Okay. So maybe that's why in this case, Chase had gone and said, I'm going to do my thing because it makes me happy, as opposed to being told what I'm going to do. Yeah. And if I have to be the guy to produce this type of song, then I'm not that artist.
Right.
Then I'm not the guy for you.
Right.
And if he walks
and you have to
away,
that.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're walking away from millions of dollars on a label deal, different story.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point.
Yeah, but it was just surprising to hear what his sound is now.
That's cool. Americana, which I love.
Yeah, it kind of has that. That's kind of what when I hear a lot of it, it kind of has that sound. I mean, it's still very country, don't get me wrong, but it just sounds more traditional, a little bit Americana kind of.
Have to check it out.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's totally changed his, 'cause
vibe.
He had some,
Yeah.
He had some songs that you were kind of like, you couldn't even play it on the radio.
What was the one that he did with Florida Georgia Line, drinking beer, talking God?
Amen.
Amen, yeah. That was a good one.
But he was a co-writer on Cruise.
Right, yeah.
Ready, Set, Roll, I think, went to radio. He had a couple of songs that did go to radio. Didn't really,
do big. Not like those ones did.
Right. But his concerts are huge.
Yeah, people love him.
Exactly. I mean, he can entertain. He's a performer for sure.
One other lady that I want to talk about really quick, and we both got a chance to see her this year. She was here with Eric Church and Jelly Roll. Maybe it was last year. Concerts go by so fast.
I know.
Haley Witters.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
she came out, she had her one song.
Yep.
Everyone was like, oh my God, it's Natalie from the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
It's her baby sister or whatever. And then now we haven't heard from her in a while.
I know.
So I was looking her up on Spotify, and
I think she's still doing some stuff though.
She is. Yeah. I don't know if she's necessarily more writing or performing, but maybe she's just writing stuff to gather more momentum.
More material and stuff, yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes those artists get one shot. That was her one shot, and they're like, they might have judged her to the Dixie Chicks, which is good and bad,
right,
because there's a lot of
yeah.
Dixie Chicks fans
Yeah.
or now I should say the Chicks.
The Chicks, yeah.
They loved them. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
how many millions of albums did they sell?
Oh my gosh.
I thought she was cute as a button.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
So, and when Jelly Roll's like, that girl's got something.
Yeah.
Then you know, because that guy's got his finger on the tempo of everything right now, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, she's going to be interesting to keep an eye on too for coming up. But as far as the music goes, yeah, it's such a wide variety of like what we can listen to and what we love. But I think the traditional country, like we've been talking about, has made its comeback, and it's going to be here for a little while.
I think so, and I think it's also cool that also the style, not just the style of music, but if you notice, like what they're wearing, what the artists are wearing, like they're bringing it into their style, like and I love that, like they're just totally going back to those eras and those times, and which I think is great because it just kind of ties it all together.
It's so it's so funny you say that because oh, my wife!
I have no idea what you're laughing at.
My wife is gonna kill me for saying this, but when we were in Nashville, we were walking around, and we don't usually get a lot of time to go shop in Nashville because we're always running. So we went to this little store. We're like, let's just browse around. It was like one of the boot stores, but it was 4 levels high. It was a kids level on the bottom, adults were on the upstairs, and then the second level was like men's, third level was ladies, and had all these outfits. Literally, the whole back row was either a Brooks and Dunn shirt, a Garth Brooks shirt, or a George Strait shirt.
Yeah.
And Zach Top posters were everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many guys were in there buying those shirts.
Those types of shirts, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
It's crazy, yeah.
I tried one on, and Kimmy looked at me, and she's like, just turn around, take it off.
That's not the one.
Not the style for you.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because
I do think it's cool. You know, like the pearl buttons are kind of, you know, the guys who are wearing the shirts with, you know, the snap pearl buttons.
Yeah.
And I feel like John Party always had that style.
He has.
To him.
And he's another guy.
Yeah.
Very traditional sounding.
Yes. It's funny because it's like you have your mainstream guys like John Party, Cody Johnson.
Yep.
You know, and Zach is getting more mainstream, but he still has that. He didn't start out mainstream.
No, definitely not, for sure. Yeah. So,
but I think
again,
it's cool.
Please, if you have some favorites, share them with us. We'd love to know who some of your favorite artists are. If you got any recommendations you want to talk to us about here on the podcast, we'd love to include you or throw your name out, say you're a great listener. And you can always click subscribe and listen to the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yes, any streaming platform. And then also you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. So join us for the next episode. Thanks for talking country music and 90s, which we seem to love a little bit of everything. Yes. We just love country music.
We sure do.
So thanks for joining us. Let us know. Give us some updates, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.